Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be unboxing the new Sur La Table multifunctional air fryer oven. What makes this thing compelling? Watch this video and find out. So you ready? Let's get into this. Okay, here is the box. And a lot of times you get a big box because there's a lot of styrofoam and the actual device is a lot smaller. In this case, it is pretty big, and you can see right here that it has a 13-quart capacity. Here's a picture of the machine, and down below are some of the features. It's got 7-in-1 function. It's got 360-degree airflow technology, so I'm assuming that means convection. 1700 watts of power. It comes with a bunch of accessories, which is always welcome. An LED touchscreen, which is kind of weird for something like this. And it comes with a recipe book. You can see some of the features of the machine here, and the two that I was really compelled by were the toasting and especially the rotisserie. I don't know about you, but I don't have a whole lot of stuff in my kitchen that does rotisserie. Not even my grill outside has that, but then again, my grill outside is a piece of crap. Moving on. Here's a list of the accessories. Got a couple of baking racks, drip pan, the holder for the rotisserie, a stand for the rotisserie split sets, a rotation basket, the air fryer basket, and skewers and racks. So really, most of the accessories here are for the rotisserie function, and really the drip pan should just be something you get. I wouldn't really consider that an accessory, but I guess that's what it is. The machine comes with a bunch of presets, which takes a lot of guesswork out of using the thing, and it's good to know that it has a crystal clear window. You can see the rotisserie in action down here, and that is a full-size chicken in there, so that gives you a general idea of how big this machine actually is. More pictures. Alright, let's get this thing open. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, right away, we're coming up on some of these accessories. This right here is the rotisserie holder. Got this bag right here, which contains our skewers. One out of here so you can see it. This thing is zip tied shut, which is kind of a strange choice, but whatever. And there's one of our skewers. And this thing comes with 8 skewers total that come with this. These are 2 pieces of the rotisserie rack. And this is the axle that holds those together. So basically you untwist these guys right here. This slides in just like that. And this would go into the machine like this. Looks like all these pieces are made of stainless steel. And these things are labeled right and left right there. So it does matter which way this goes in. One thing to remember if you buy one of these. This out of here. Right here, looks like we got all of our books together in one little baggie. Got your owner's manual right here, and in this, you get a little introduction to your machine, breakdown of all your parts, safety information, and a warning to never put the air fry oven on your cooktop. Somebody did that, and they had to put a warning in the box to tell you not to do that. Quick rundown of all the controls. There's cooking charts in this, and if you turn the book over, you got the entire thing in Spanish as well. But enough of that for now. Looks like we got a quick start guide here. Another quick start guide, except this time it's in English. The other one was in Spanish. And right here, there's a notice to preheat the machine at 350 degrees for 5 minutes. And that's to burn off a protective coating of oil that the machine is shipped with. So keep in mind when you do that, it's going to produce a little bit of smoke. That is normal. And then right here, we have a recipe book, which is pretty significant. I am liking that because that's one of the things I like a lot about the Ninja stuff. And for instance, if I just open this up to the middle, you've got a recipe here for eggplant parmesan rounds, some sweet potato wedges right there, nice, and even some herb roasted turkey breast, which I assume is going to be making use of that rotisserie, or not. Anyway, these things are great, and if you get one of these machines, don't throw this away. It's really fun to try to make some of the things that are in here, and a lot of times it means you're going to make some stuff that you never really thought of making before. And then we just have this machine, so let's get this big boy out of here, right? Okay, let's get this off of here. And this is a pretty darn good looking machine. You can see right there I've got a little imperfection on this one. So this one might not have passed QC. I got a little dent right there. And I got a little bit of a bend right here in the plastic. What? So hopefully that's not a typical thing. We're going to see if that's a bigger problem in a second here. This has got a stainless steel fascia on the front. All the rest of this is that piano black plastic. One of the great things about that piano black plastic is it's a super duper awesome fingerprint magnet that I'm sure everybody loves. Got your vent back here and your power cord, which looks to be about 3 feet long. Got your vent on top, and that looks like it has a little stainless steel cover. Pretty thin stainless though, so it might even be plastic with a stainless overlay. Okay, opening this machine up. Let's see what we get inside here. Okay, all the rest of our goodies are inside here. We're going to put this aside for a second and take a look at these. Looks like we got baking rack number 1. Looks like this has a non-stick type coating on it. Much lighter than I thought these would be, actually. Let's get the rest of this out of here. If you wanted to know the exact dimensions of the cooking area in here, really this thing is about 9.5 inches deep and realistically something like 7 inches tall. So it's not massive, but it's big enough. The machine, when this is all closed up, you're talking about 15 inches tall, 14 inches wide, and with the handle, you're talking 12 inches deep. So it's not a tiny machine, but the footprint's not actually too bad. Okay, going back to the baking trays. If you look inside the machine here, we have 3 different shelves laid out. So we can put our baking trays on really any one of these. See? And then here's the top. And then the top right there. And here's our second baking tray, just like the first one. And then the last piece that was in this little package here is the drip plate, made out of the same material. I'll get that cardboard out of there. And obviously the drip plate would go on the bottom. You can see some of the mechanisms here for the rotisserie. Okay, and here we'll set this aside for just a second, since that is the most complicated of all our packages here. And then right here we have our air fry basket, made out of that same non-stick material. It's not smooth at all. It's got kind of a rough texture to it. So this might actually even be a similar material to what Ninja uses on their non-stick pans. So if you like those, you might like that, and if you hate those, you might hate that, right? And this other little bag right here is the handle for the fry basket. Got a little Teflon handle here. The handle squishes together, and it's got this little extra piece here that flips over the top to lock the handle in place. And the reason that you have this is because the way you use this handle is going to have to lock onto the bottom of the basket right there, and then you would need to stick that on there just like that, so you can't accidentally squeeze the handle, because if that's not engaged, you can squeeze that when you pick it up and pull the handle right off your fry basket. Another reason you'd really want to do that is because if you were to put your fry basket into your machine here like that, you're going to notice that the handle ain't going to let you close the door, right? So you put your stuff in there, you take the handle off, and then you do your air frying. And when it's done, you got to open it back up, put the handle on here, being careful not to burn the crap out of your hand, and then you got to lock it into place, and then you pick the whole thing out just like that. That might be a little bit weird, but really for something like this, I don't really see any other way to be able to have a handle on here without it being dangerous. I mean, you can have a handle that flips down and flips up, but that would be hot as crap whenever you open this thing up and try to take it out of there, right? This is a little bit safer, but keep in mind that's just one more part that you got to keep track of. And even though this looks sort of flimsy, it doesn't really look like it's going anywhere, so that's always good, right? And next we have our basket with all of our rotisserie stuff in it. So this is the rotisserie stand. This is the basket right here. Very nice. The other side of the basket. And then we got these guys right in here, when these are the rotisserie split sets. Alright, the way this basket works is you put your stuff in there, these slide over the top, and then you can turn this way and lock it. And then from there, you slide one end of it into the rotisserie guide right there. And then the other end just kind of sits on this little guy right here. I'll start this up so you can see how this works. So with the basket in here, we can close this door, turn on the power, make sure the rotisserie is turned on. Maybe we're gonna do some wings or something. So if you can see in there, you should be able to see it turning around. If I open this door, it's probably gonna pause it. And it does. You can see here that the wing preset has got this set to 400 degrees. It's gonna go for 20 minutes, which is down to 19 minutes now. This is blinking because I turned on the rotisserie, and this right here would turn that light on and off inside of it, just like you'd have on an oven. If I want to adjust the time on that, I can adjust it right here, or I can adjust the temperature on this side too if I decided that I just wanted it to be higher for whatever reason. I've only had this on for, I don't know, 40 seconds or something like that, and this is already putting out a ton of heat. That basket's already so hot I can't really touch it, so pretty effective, if I do say so myself. In addition to that basket, like I showed you before, we also have this rotisserie attachment as well. The little holes in here are for the skewers that I showed you before, and those just kind of go in about like this. You go in from one side, you pinch it shut, and it'll just kind of get held on one side here, and the skewer goes through a hole on the other side. If you want them to be close together, you can do that, and you just kind of do it from the other side, like right here, like that. And you can do these all the way around. So let's say we made a whole bunch of shish kebabs here. I'll just put a third one in here just because it's not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway just because it looks a little bit nicer. That skewer right there is kind of bent, so a little bit of weird quality control. But these things are not super strong, but I guess they don't really have to be. The stand right here is not designed to go in the oven. This is just for whenever you take these out when they're finished. This just sets on your table. This kind of goes into the top like that. And it gives you a place to put this without having it set on the counter and basically rolling off the counter onto the floor and pissing off everybody in the house, right? The rotisserie holder right here is designed to work both with this and with the basket in there. So if that were to get finished being cooked, you would take this, slide it in here, and then you can remove this just like that without having to touch it, because that's going to be really hot and you don't want to burn yourself, do you? And in a case like this, you'd be able to take that stand, set it right on that, and do that. One thing to note, that this doesn't really snap in and lock or anything. It's just kind of flopping around like that. Can you see that? So, I mean, this could twist and fall off pretty easy. You don't have to worry about that falling off in the machine or anything because it rotates against that, so I mean, there wouldn't really be any way for it to happen. But it's just one of those things to remember, because when you take this out, you could accidentally pop that off. So that might have been kind of nice to have a way for that to sort of lock in a little bit. These little guys right here are designed to fit right onto this shaft, and that would be for cooking a whole chicken or something like that. You'd slide this onto the chicken and stab it in like that, or a roast or whatever else you want to put it on here. And then this other one will just slide onto the other side like this, and then you'd lock it in with this little guy right here. Probably a better idea to put this opposite the first one, but you get the idea, right? Then this just sits in the machine like that, just like we were looking at before, and it'll rotate that around for you. On the machine, we have a bunch of different preset functions. Keep in mind, this isn't all this machine can do, but it is all of the stuff that's set for a one-touch preset. So it does have quite a bit of function. Dehydrate was something I wasn't expecting to see on here, so that's kind of neat. The toast function would make this a big toaster oven. And then you got a lot of other presets for things like bacon and pizza and all kinds of other stuff. So this has a pretty wide range of things that it can do. The only other thing I'd like to show you on this is exactly how loud the air fryer does get. Like I showed you before, you could tell in the video that it's not very loud at all. But I'm going to show you on my sound meter exactly how loud this gets. See, that's not bad at all. So I'm going to let this go for a minute and find out if this thing gets any louder after it gets done preheating. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Alright, I let this go for a few minutes and it has gotten slightly louder. I'll shut up for a second so you can see this. Just a few decibels louder. It was down 68ish and now it's about 72, 73. But still, that is not loud at all. Is it louder with the other functions? Well, time will tell as we test this machine. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be testing all the functions on the Sur La Table multifunctional air fry oven. Once we've had a chance to do sufficient testing on it, we'll be back with a full product review. If you'd like a little bit more information about it, we do have an Amazon affiliate link to it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, then you might like this video right here where we unbox the Ninja Foodi Dual Zone Air Fryer. It's got a few features in common with this along with some other things that you might find compelling. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon, and until that time, I'm Joe and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.